Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, the weekly podcast devoted to all things spirituality and self-improvement. I'm so delighted you're here with me today. Today we're going to be talking about how to be more enchanted with life, how to tap more into your inner child, and how to allow your inner child to play so that you can begin healing from all of the craziness that's going on around us right now. Those of you who are aware of energies and energetic shifting, you probably have felt these crazy energies these last few months, and maybe you haven't been able to sleep. Maybe you've been experiencing some symptoms. Sometimes we get flu-like symptoms. Maybe you're having trouble with sinuses or pressure in your head. There's so many different symptoms that show up whenever we're dealing with energetic shifts. And the energies have just been so crazy lately. So if you're like me, you've been feeling it. And one way that I definitely notice it is in my sleep patterns. I have such a hard time sleeping solidly through the night when the energies are really crazy. And that's been happening for me lately. So if you're like me, you're probably thinking, I'm going crazy and I just haven't felt like myself. You're not going crazy. The energies are just insane. And so today I want to talk to you about something that the universe made me realize, which is that I need to stop being so serious all the time. I need to tap back into what my inner child wants to do, which is just to play and have fun and be enchanted with life again. And that's going to help me stay grounded during these times that are so incredibly weird. They're just weird. I don't know how else to say it. Inside, I know what's happening. Like, I understand what's going on. But to make your human brain understand it is just so surreal. Like, are we living in a weird dimension right now? And yeah, we kind of are, because we're shifting. And what's really happening is we're all evolving and we're becoming enlightened. And as more and more people are waking up, we're realizing that the systems and this matrix we've been living in for so long doesn't work anymore. And that we're seeing a lot of things we don't like about this matrix come to the forefront so that we can examine it and say, okay, we don't want this anymore. And we want new systems that are better and more fair for everybody. But as that's happening, we have to see all of the bad stuff come out. And that's where it kind of makes us feel like we're going crazy and maybe you're really struggling right now. And I totally understand that. I mean, I have to turn off the news sometimes because it just makes me so mad. And I know that I can't be in that negative space. I have to be able to look past that to see what's really going on. And what's really going on is we're trying to usher in divine feminine energy because we're realizing that our systems are broken. We need to rebuild. We need to make them better. And we are, and we will. I promise. I know it doesn't look like it right now, but I promise you that we are and we will. We have to hold this space of divine light and positivity, which is hard to do. And I'm not talking about pretending like nothing's going on and nothing's wrong. That's not it at all. You can be aware of what's going on around you. And the way that I've heard so many people describe it is to observe it and not absorb it, which can be really hard to do, especially if you're sitting in all of these news stories. And I know for some of you, I mean, in my area, we're affected. I'm in the St. Louis area. We've had tornadoes, and I know many of you and many of my listeners have as well. You're experiencing really crazy weather patterns. I mean, as I'm sitting here today, it's the end of May, and it's in the 60s, like low 70s here in St. Louis, and that is not normal at all. It's normally in the 80s by now, and we're just experiencing the craziest weather. It's all happening for a reason. And even though I tell you that it's happening for a reason, that doesn't make it any easier to get through. So today what I want to do is talk to you about how to get through this. How can you stay grounded? And the way that I want to address this is by telling you what the universe told me, which was that we need to be more enchanted with life. We need to create more magic for ourselves. We need to be more in tune with our inner child and what our inner child wants. And we need to be following our hearts more than letting our minds take over and letting the fear take over. Because when we allow fear to come in and when we overthink, the best scenarios don't usually happen, right? When we overthink it and we allow fear to come in, we usually create more trauma for ourselves. I mean, we are torturing ourselves with our thoughts. And the universe does not want us to do that. We did not come here to suffer, even though I know some of you will say, are you sure about that? I promise you we didn't. But the universe wanted me to convey that one of the ways that you can really get through this time, which is really, really difficult right now, is to get in touch with your inner child, become more enchanted with life, and in that way, you will see and begin to see more of the ways in which our world is still a good place. And it's still a positive place to be, because it can be so easy to be sucked down that rabbit hole of negativity. So easy. All you have to do is go to social media for 5 seconds or watch the news for 6 seconds. I mean, it doesn't take long at all to see we're highlighting the bad stuff all the time. And that's because that is what gains views, right? People, you get their attention by seeing this horrible headline and then people tune in. We just want to see what's going on and they're just trying to sell the news. But I promise you there are good things still happening. And even though we can't bury our head in the sands, and I'm not even suggesting that you do that, I am suggesting that you limit what you put yourself through. And you observe and not absorb, because it isn't helping anyone if you go down that fear-based spiral either. So how do we stay grounded and how do we keep our energies in the right space during this time? That's what we're going to talk about today. So number one, the universe really, really wants us to be enchanted by life. What does that even mean? What does it mean to be enchanted by life? So the definition of enchanted, if you look it up in the dictionary, is to be filled with delight or charmed. So to be enchanted by life means that you are delighted by what's going on around you in your life. And I know some of you are saying, but I'm not. I'm really not. I get it. So how do we become more delighted with life? That's the question. How do we become more enchanted with life? The very first thing that I would suggest is that we make sure that we're being fully present every day. Because oftentimes what happens is we see these or see the headlines, we hear the news stories, and we immediately think about what our future is going to look like. Or maybe we think about the past that we had and how we wish we could have that back. And being in the past fills us with regret. Being in the future can fill us with fear and anxiety. So it's important to really be fully present in your body. And here's another reason. How many times do we miss beautiful moments that happen when we're not really being fully present? And let me explain to you what I mean. When my mom was dying of cancer, we made sure that we spent time with her. But I can remember that there were times, not when I was necessarily physically in her presence, but something was happening. I'm like, man, I really just wish that I could skip today and I could just move ahead. And now I think about that and I think I would give anything to have the time back to be able to talk to her, to spend with her. How much of our time do we really wish away because we just don't want to be whatever we're currently doing in the moment? So I urge you not to do that. Don't wish your life away because your life is precious. You're here for a reason, so don't wish it away. If you're doing something in the current moment you don't necessarily enjoy, is there any way you can make it better? So what does that mean? Well, I have to do this work. I don't really like it. I have to clean my house. Maybe I can turn on some music that I really enjoy and clean the house while I'm doing that. I'm just trying to add little ways, little things, little moments in my day that bring me joy and happiness. I love this song. I'm going to play this song while I'm doing the thing I don't necessarily want to have to do. And maybe it will make it a little bit better. Maybe I call my sister because I love talking to her on the phone. And I talk to her while I have to sweep the floor or do something that I don't want to do. I try to make the things I have to do a little bit more enjoyable. These are just examples. You come up with your own ways to make things better or more enjoyable. What can you do? The important thing is to be present and to be intentional that, hey, today I'm going to have a good day. It's a good day to have a good day. Why can't I have a good day today? Notice the things around you too, because as you go outside, especially for me in the springtime, even though some people may say, oh no, now my allergies are acting up. Yeah, I know that happens. But for me in the springtime, I love it because I love looking around at all the flowers that are coming up. It's first spring, you see those beautiful iris. And on my street, everyone has them, but they're all different colors. So they have pink ones and purple ones and they're orange ones and yellow and so many different colors. And I just love them. I love seeing those flowers. And they remind me of my grandpa because that's what he used to grow. Even though I never met him, everyone always tells me, oh, he had a garden and he used to grow these flowers. And so I think about that. And that brings me a little bit of joy to see that. So maybe noticing the magic that's around you, in nature. Maybe if your yard isn't so magical, why not plant some flowers and make it a place that seems magical to you? Whenever I first started getting into gardening, my brother, when he lived with me, was the one who always took care of the yard and did all of the gardening, and it just is what happened. And when he moved out, I was like, wow, I get to make this space my own now. This is my space. I want to create a space that I love. So I went out and bought rose bushes and flowers and then stepping stones and pebbles. And I redesigned this whole space in my yard so that in the morning when I have my coffee, I can go outside and just relax and enjoy that area. And I'm so glad I did because it is like a little sanctuary for me. It's my little space. And it didn't take a ton of money to do it. And even the effort of digging up everything and putting in the flowers, I really enjoyed that because it was sort of like I'm making this for me and I'm rewarding myself and it's going to be beautiful. That was the thing that I really, truly enjoyed. So you can make your own sanctuary in your backyard and it doesn't have to be anything big, or you can do that in your house. Some people really enjoy making a little space in their house that's theirs, like an office space or maybe a place where you have a little altar or some space for you where you do yoga, whatever it is that you really like, do that for yourself. If you like cooking, revamp your kitchen so that it's full of the things that you love and the things you get to do. Everyone's going to be different, but really think about what brings you joy and how can you do more of that right now. And maybe you get into things that you never thought of, because I was not someone who did any kind of gardening at all, not even at all. And just a few years ago when I got into all of that, now I'm growing tomatoes and peppers and lettuce. And I've really enjoyed that. It wasn't something that I ever thought that I would until I tried it. And maybe there's something that you've always wanted to try or something you want to get into. Now's the perfect time to try that because you may find something that you love and you realize this is what sparks my joy. This is what makes me happy. It's really all about honoring that inner child. And think about when you were a child. I know for me, I didn't have that many inhibitions. If I wanted to go outside and play, I just did, right? If I wanted to meet somebody new, I just walked up to them and I said hi. I was not yet conditioned to be afraid of what other people thought of me. I didn't care at all. And we need to go back to that a little bit, like how we were when we were younger. We just would go say hi and be nice to people and try new things. That is what the universe wants us to do. That's what we came here to do. We came here to experience so much. But most of us just stay stuck in our own little world and we're in our own little bubble and we don't get out there. And now is the perfect time to do that because some of us really need a distraction from what's going on around us. So do more of those little things that bring you joy. Figure out what that is for you. Slow down and really pay attention to life. and try to look for the things that make it magical, make it wonderful. One of the things that I noticed that I started doing was I started trying to find on social media things that make me smile and laugh. So there are videos of like dogs and babies together, and you're going to be like, okay, whatever. But honestly, when those come up on my feed, instantly I'm going to watch 20 more of those videos because it just makes me smile, it makes me laugh, even makes me tear up a little bit. But watching more of those things, read a really good book, watch a really good movie, doing more of the things that bring you joy and bring you happiness, those are the things that are really going to raise your vibration and to keep you grounded in the here and the now. We don't have to be a part of all of the chaos. We can observe it and say, I choose to stay back from that. I'm going to do what I can where I can. I mean, believe me, I politically do go out and I protest and do things when I feel it's important and stand up for other people. But I can't be that 24/7. Like, I have to have a balance. So sometimes I have to take a break, and we all need that. So whatever you need to do to take that break, whether you, again, go listen to good music, you bake, maybe some of you sew, maybe you like to go for walks, maybe some of you do like to watch movies. It doesn't matter. Whatever you like to do, that's perfect. But really be in the present moment while you're doing it and really enjoy each and everything. Like, oh, I really loved the way that music sounded when it hit that one note, or this is my favorite part of the book and I just love reading that. Really, really, truly be present with that and enjoy each moment, because that's what we're here for. I wanted to pull a few cards for you to help, something to go along with this message. And so I just asked the universe what you needed to hear, and I picked 3 decks. So I pulled a card from each deck. The first deck is Ask and It Is Given. And it says, I can accept myself as a vibrational being. Once you begin to accept yourself as a vibrational being who attracts all things that come into your experience, once you understand the correlation between what you are thinking, feeling, and what you are receiving, you then hold the keys to go from wherever you are to wherever you want to be on all subjects. So yeah, if we stay in that negative place, we're just going to continue having negative experiences. But if we can bring ourselves, and sometimes for me, this is daydreaming about all of the amazing things too that I'm going to experience. It's really showing gratitude for all of the amazing experiences that I already had. And I feel like those 2 vibrational states of being, gratitude and also the daydreaming thing where you're kind of thinking about all the things that could be in a good way, that's what really manifests what you see in your reality. So doing more of that is only going to help you. So the second card I pulled was from Angela Rose's deck, and it says, what does my inner child need? Do I need safety, security, comfort, or validation to be seen or heard? Honor your inner child's needs by asking her what she needs. Does she need to play, dance, rest? Ask yourself, what is the most loving thing you need right now? And how can you gift this to yourself? The mantra that goes with this card is, I have a right to feel how I feel. My needs matter. I matter. And they do matter. And nobody's telling you to ignore any of your emotions. In fact, part of self-care and part of honoring your inner child is if you're feeling something, process it. If you need to have a good cry, have a good cry. I talk about that in my book, Beautiful Mourning, A Guide to Life After Loss. I talk about how you have to really feel the grief. And it's such a hard thing because we don't want to feel bad, right? We want to feel good. But the truth and reality of it is that you're going to experience things in life, such as grief, where you don't feel good. And you're going to have days where you really don't feel good. And it's okay to have those days. part of self-care is being able to process those emotions so that you can move through them. We don't want to stay in that place. That's where, we start to worry, is when people stay in those states of emotions for long periods of time, because it means you're not processing and you're not moving through it. And I'm not saying there's a time limit for grief. There's definitely not. There's no expiration date. What I'm saying is, if you're truly processing your emotions, you'll move through many different emotions. It's like a cycle. And it's not linear, you move from one stage to the next and back to the next and whatever, but you'll notice that your emotions are kind of like a roller coaster. And that's processing them. That's what happens normally. But if you're stagnant and you're just staying in just that one emotion all the time, like anger or guilt or whatever it is, that's when we need to really do something to work through that. And if you need help with that, grab a copy of my book. It's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and the audiobook's also available on audiobooks.com and on Spotify. I just highly encourage you to do something to help you move through it, because you don't want to stay stuck in any one emotion. Life is like a roller coaster, right? We want to have all the experiences of everything, so you don't want to stay stuck for too long there. But what does your inner child really need? Okay, you have the right to feel how you feel and to ask for what you need. And the final card that came out is from an affirmations deck, and it's healing. A big part of what we're doing right now and why everything is so tough is because we are healing. We're not just healing ourselves. And there's so many of us out there that have been healing, and we've been doing generational healing, which means we're not just healing ourselves, we're healing generations ahead of us and behind us. And that's really, really hard, but we chose to come here to do that. So you should be very proud that you chose it, but also it's really hard. So you're doing this healing work, and now as a collective, we're doing healing work for the entire planet, and that's also really hard. And we chose to come here to help elevate the whole collective, and that's really, really not easy. So again, have grace with yourself, because we're doing a lot here to help the entire collective. So this healing card came out. It says, I am healing with every breath I take. My body is powerful and knows how to heal itself. My body is a mirror of my inner thoughts and beliefs. I nourish it with good habits, healthy foods, and exercise. Healing is a personal choice and a commitment. It requires active participation, self-reflection, and a willingness to embrace change and the transformative power it holds. Prioritize self-care, and prioritize activities that support your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Eat a healthy meal, take a walk, stretch, and calm your heart by breathing slowly and deeply. Self-care is so important right now, and it is really, really important for you to take care of yourselves, to again honor that inner child. What does your inner child need right now? Sometimes, if you're not sure, I just ask myself, what would my 12-year-old self want to be doing right now? And my 12-year-old self would probably want to listen to New Kids on the Block. So maybe I put on that music. Maybe I dance. Maybe I put on 80s makeup. I don't know, crimp my hair. I'm being silly. But, you do things that do make you feel good. And honestly, my sister and I have gone to concerts and where we've dressed up like we were in the 80s. And it was so much fun just to step back for a little bit. And that's what the universe is asking you to do. Find activities, things to do that make you feel young at heart again, that make you feel enchanted with life again, that make you realize that even though it looks like there's so much wrong with the world, there's also so much right with it. And that's what they want you to take with you today. Look for the magic in your life. Be the magic for others, and take care of yourselves. All right, guys, I want to thank you for being here with me. If you like this podcast, please subscribe. Please leave a positive review from wherever you're listening. You can also catch me now on New Reality TV, where you will see the interviews that I do with people on this podcast. You can also work with me. I offer readings, healing sessions. I have online courses, and of course, I have my books. All of that is available on my website. Of course, if you ever have any questions, you can always reach out. All of my contact information is in the show notes, and it's on my website. Don't forget to follow me on social media. I post readings weekly on TikTok and on YouTube. You can catch me at either place. I hope that you guys have an amazing week. As always, I am sending you so much love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.